In the upscale, whisper-quiet suburb of North Hollow Ridge, where lawns were always trimmed to code and mailboxes matched the paint of the houses, lived a woman named Claire Monroe, a single mother with a hopeful smile and 2 young children, Ellie, age 7, and Mason, age 5. Their new home, a pristine white colonial wrapped in ivy and perched at the edge of a cul-de-sac, was a kind of place people dreamed of owning until they did. The neighbors offered polite smiles, but their eyes lingered too long, and their voices dropped whenever Claire mentioned her address. She chalked it up to small-town oddness. Across the street sat a house swallowed in shadows, unkept silent, with faded blinds and a broken porch light that flickered erratically at 3:33 a.m. every single night. That house belonged to Mr. Dolan, or so the realtor had said, though no one had seen him in years. His windows were always dark, except one in the attic, where Claire sometimes swore she saw movement, a silhouette standing still for hours. At first, life was normal, but soon the strange things began. Photos began showing up in Claire's mailbox, grainy black and white images of her family sleeping, eating, brushing their teeth. The timestamps were all between midnight and 3:33 a.m. The police dismissed it as a prank. Then came the footsteps in the attic, the sound of 2 people breathing in her bedroom when she was alone, and Ellie whispering to someone in her closet. Claire set up cameras, but the footage glitched out every night between midnight and 3:33 a.m., replaced with static, a low electrical hum, and, worse, an occasional voice whispering, "Not yet, not yet." One night, Claire followed that hum and discovered something horrifying. Wires, thin, hair-like strands, snaking under her beds, behind every mirror, even to the shower drains. She pulled at one and found it led deep into the walls, and they were warm. Then the attic, boxes that weren't hers. Dusty toys, old photos of a different family in the same house. Faces scratched out, and tucked behind a loose panel was a journal, written by Margot Halley, a previous owner who disappeared a decade ago. Her final entry read, "He watches from the dark, but when he stops watching, he starts walking. And once he walks, he chooses a new home." That night, the music box in the attic played by itself, 3 notes repeating, and the basement door creaked open on its own. Claire descended the stairs with a flashlight that flickered like her heartbeat. In the far wall, behind a tool rack, was a panel she'd never seen before. It led to a tunnel, damp, narrow, and too quiet. The tunnel didn't go under her house. It led to Mr. Dolan's. Inside his basement, she found a surveillance room, dozens of old CRT monitors stacked wall to wall, each screen showing a different home in the neighborhood live. Bedrooms, bathrooms, nurseries. Every home was wired, recorded. Hers too. On a dusty desk sat a tape labeled, "Claire, Final Cut." But before she could press play, the door behind her slammed shut and all the screens turned to static, except one. It showed her from behind, breathing. The screen cut to black. Claire screamed and vanished, but that was only the beginning. The next morning, Ellie and Mason were found sitting at the kitchen table, eerily calm, eating cold cereal, whispering to an empty corner. When asked who their mother was, Ellie simply said, "She's part of the wires now." Investigators found no Claire, no tunnel, and no trace of surveillance room. Mr. Dolan's house was empty, sealed tight, layered in a decade of dust and rot. Yet the power still ran, and his porch light flickered on schedule. Records showed Mr. Dolan died in 2013, yet every night, at exactly 3:33 a.m., neighbors still saw his silhouette in the attic window, unmoving. Weeks passed. A new family moved in. They laughed off the rumors, until their daughter pointed at the hallway mirror and said, "The man with wires in his eyes told me I'm next." The next morning, they were gone. No signs of forced entry. No evidence of a struggle. Just warm food on the table and every mirror in the house shattered from inside. But the story doesn't stop there. Every year, on the anniversary of Claire's disappearance, someone in North Hollow Ridge receives a package on their doorstep, an unmarked VHS tape. Each one shows security footage of their house. Hours of footage, ending with a single static-filled frame. He's watching. But last year's tape was different. It ended with new footage, grainy, warped, of Claire, her face pale and eyes black, standing in the surveillance room, whispering into the camera. If you're watching this, it means he's watching you. And if he's watching you, you're already part of the next cut.